So, I wanted to take the time to tell you guys how I got my permit. It's not a bad story. I know most people are like, "Oh my god, that test is so hard. I failed like 4 times," or the instructor was an asshole, or they were rude, or whatever. No, it's nothing like that. My instructor was pretty nice, and I passed the test on the first try, the written and the physical, or driving, I guess as you'd call it. I mean, it wasn't anything difficult, but the interesting part is what happened after. I'm not talking full license, just straight up permit, like 16, just got it and ready to roll. But when you first get your license or permit, you can't drive after like 9 o'clock or whatever, and you can't drive if someone 21 or older isn't in the car with you. So I feel like enough time has passed where I can actually, talk about this. So shortly after getting my license, and I mean shortly, like 2 weeks after getting my permit, my mom got into an accident where she wasn't able to drive. She was like in a full-on neck brace and literally couldn't drive herself anywhere. So, couldn't drive herself anywhere, and I assumed the role of driver because she was over 21 and I was like 16. Sorry, dog keeps licking me. Move, Milo. Stop it. Focusing. There we go. So she couldn't drive herself anywhere, and she just needed me to take her places so she can get stuff done. And like the car was pretty much totaled, so she got a nice rental car. I don't know much about cars, but it was a nice car. I think it was a Dodge Avenger 2014. It was a nice car, so it's fairly new at the time. Yeah, around 2014. And I would borrow the car. And I would, go for a ride, just run a block here and there. And then I really started feeling ballsy, so I would go down the street, around the corner some more, just do it every once in a while, get better, practicing myself, which, was a bad idea at the time, but you live and you learn, pretty much. So I would take the car and I would go driving. I would come back with food. Random. Just get that. I would come back with food, or I would come back with the groceries. Do the proper stuff that a nice young guy was supposed to do for his mom. But then the sun went down and everyone else went to sleep, so it was around my time to just stay up, because I had trouble sleeping anyways, and I still do. Usually up till like 4 o'clock in the morning on a regular day for no reason. I wake up early enough, like 10:30, 11 every morning, because I work in the afternoon, so it's not too bad. I'm probably gonna have to cut that part out. And I took a trip to the next town over just to, see how it felt to drive by myself. I could have waited and just waited until I was old enough to drive by myself, which I didn't have to wait too long. It was probably like 6, 7 more months or so until I was fully old enough just to drive by myself. But my impatient younger self went ahead and did it anyways. So I wound up driving over to the next town, like I said before, just grab some food and come back, and it felt great. Like I had like a new self-confidence for myself. It's like, you can do a lot no matter your age. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and start driving, as a underage person, but there's pretty much no limit to what anyone can really do, no matter how old you are or how young you are, or even where you're from. It doesn't matter. So if you have an idea for something that you want to do, just give it a shot. You might do it better than you thought you could. Or if you fail, then you know that that's not in your future, at the moment at least. So, coming back to the story, I wound up driving down to the city. Now, the city is about like hour and 40 minutes away from where I live. So, long ride by myself. I mean, I wasn't an idiot about it. I was doing the speed just under the speed limit or around the speed limit. Probably a little over the speed limit. But I went down there. I wasn't on my phone or anything like that. I just went down there to see the part of the city that I've never seen before because I never went to Times Square, pretty much. And my first time down there, it was actually pretty overwhelming. It's a lot to take in. All the bright lights, the people just flocking around, pretty much doing nothing besides just staring at the lights and trying not to get bumped into. And it was pretty cool to be down there by myself. I mean, yeah, I was kind of scared because, a lot of older people, bigger than you, probably malintentioned, all. I was scared. But that's okay because that's just what happens when you go somewhere new. You don't know anyone. You're pretty much by yourself. It's a new environment, and let's say hour and a half ride wasn't worth it for like the 6 minutes I spent in the city. But it was fun, and it got me into what I like to do now. And what I like to do now is just pretty much explore. Like I drive around and I just look at the scenery and check out places I've never been before. So that's always something cool that I can do, and I'll never be bored of that because you can never explore everywhere. And when I got back, my ass got beat. I was in trouble. Like goodness, if I wasn't her only means of like getting around, I would have never driven again until I was like 30. But as the forgiving, loving, almighty mother knows and does, she let me continue driving because one, she knew I needed to, and two, she knew that she needed me to drive her. So, kind of worked out, but kind of didn't at the same time because I didn't learn. I did it again like the next week. But this time I didn't get caught. I'm not sure if it's because she knew and she was like, I'll let it slide. Or because she actually didn't know. But at the same time, I did come back with a full tank of gas. Like when I borrowed it, it was pretty much empty. I filled it up, brought it back, and it's gonna sound bad, but I kind of buttered her up a little bit because I know what her favorite two things in the world are, and I left it in the driver's seat for her to find the next day, as like a measure just in case she did know, and I didn't want to, get beat or, punished or whatever. Because, it's not abuse. It's discipline. Because otherwise you get your kids running around the store or running around wherever, disrespecting people or making a mess and just making themselves and the parent who raised them look like an idiot. I don't even know what to say to that. It's nothing bad. It's very common. Most people don't talk about it at the fear of, I don't even know what people are scared of. They just don't talk about it. But yeah, no, I didn't get in trouble for it, and that scared me the most. The fact that nothing was said, I was freaking terrified. I didn't. I was walking on eggshells at this point. I didn't want to do anything to set her off and have her like, I know what you did. you're in trouble. You're never driving again for like the next 2 years. You know, something stupid. I didn't want any of that. So eggshells for like the first couple days. Then I got bold again. Did it again. This time I wound up just going to see my grandmother and my grandfather, who happened to live a little bit past the city, so it was about 2 hours ride this time. And they were happy to see me. My older sister was down there, so she was happy to see me. They were like, "Where's your mom?" I'm like, she's in the car. She's not feeling well. She didn't want to come in." They accepted that, so I guess it was a success. And then I stayed for about an hour, and then I went back. I mean, it was like late. It was like 11 o'clock or early in the morning. So, yeah, I just went home after that. And I do not in any way, shape, or form condone that behavior. I just thought it would be a nice little story to pass the time with or something. Mm. All right. I that that's the end of the video. I don't know why you're still here. All right, bye.